morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the community live stream. This is the show that takes you through our ServiceNow community and not only provides you with the answers to questions that you have, but the thought process, the journey of discovery that goes in behind those questions so that you can take those to your job and be a more effective administrator. How's that for a deal? My name is Chuck Tomasi. I'm the ServiceNow guy with the cool bow tie, coming to you every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. UTC. Looking to give you some insight, information, and discussion around that. If you like, you can join us live on YouTube at 1 p.m. UTC, as I mentioned, whatever time zone that is for you. It's 6 a.m. here for me in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's still jet lag time, so I'm wide awake, at least for the moment. By the end of the show, we'll see how it looks. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and my phone is way over there, so I can't check it, but you will get a message on your phone or device or whatever that says, hey, the Now community is live. We have a live show going, and several people watch and join and get into the chat. Give me a shout out where you're from, how's the weather, where you been. Love to talk to you on that. You can also join us on Twitch over at twitch.tv/NowCommunity. We're available there if you choose to watch there as well. Twitch keeps the videos around for a couple of weeks. YouTube, we keep them around forever. That's just the way it goes. So we'd love to see you there. Give a shout out either way. If you've got more than just a hi, how are you? Welcome from Morocco or Singapore or Iran or wherever you're from, then I do encourage you to go to the community. The community is where you should be posting your more in-depth questions so that other people can get into the conversation and contribute and benefit from the answers that are given there. So that's where the discussion happens. Be sure to put things in the right subforum. If you've got a question about security, put it in the security group. If you've got a question about performance analytics and reporting, put it there as well. We'd love to see your questions there. Not everything is a developer question. The best way to get your question answered is to put it in the right forum and provide some context about what it is you're trying to accomplish, rather than just saying, hey, is it okay if how do I delete this record? There may be deeper questions that have to be answered about why you are deleting the record. What's going to happen if you do delete that record and somebody comes along with an audit later? I'll talk about that in a little bit. So community is where you want to post those questions. Good morning to everybody who's joining us on the live stream, or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. It's a mixed up, crazy time zone world that we live in. Getting on with the rest of the pre-roll. You can also go over to developer at developer.servicenow.com. Get yourself a free personal developer instance. Good morning, Carolyn. Oh, it seems like it's been forever since we said good morning to Carolyn. Shane J, giving you a double whoop for you too. Good morning to everybody who's joining us. I am rolling up the sleeves and getting ready to get to work here. Go over to the developer portal. As I mentioned, free personal developer instance on London, Kingston, or Jakarta. You can get any of those versions of instances. I just spun one up this morning because we have a webinar in a little bit that I will talk to you about, and I need a fresh blank instance for that. So wonderful to use for prototyping, for testing. If you mess it up, you can just blow it away and start right over. Have fun with it. Do your learning with free learning plans. Reference the script APIs with the documentation that's on there. Join the meetups that are available at meetup.com. You can see there's a number of them that are up there on the screen. I will be I'll be in DC, working on Tampa. I believe that's going to be December 5th. It's not on the calendar yet. Still working on the details of that one. So we're not done with the travel yet, kids. There's plenty more developer meetups to be had around here. This coming Thursday, the 25th, which is in just a couple of days, we have ours in Phoenix. We're going to be doing a code review. I think this is the first one we're doing in the actually afternoon. So some people have them in the afternoon, some people have them on the weekend, some people have them on a weekday night. It's totally up to you. We're not telling you how to run these meetings. They are yours to have, to craft, to be your own. Get that information out there and enjoy, share, learn, get together, have fun. That's what the meetups are all about. And we certainly are having our share of wonderful meetups this year. Other events that are happening can be found over at our events page, Now Forums, Now Summits, developer days. There's one going on in Copenhagen, in Stockholm, in Amsterdam, over in EMEA. So if you're not part of that, take a look on the events page and find out what's coming in your area. Might be something of interest at the URL down there. Also, it's not too late to sign up. In just a little under 2 hours, we'll be doing our next episode of Tech Now on building a codeless application. So look for that coming up. The registration link is at the bottom, and it is totally free. You can go to this. Stacy and I will be going through this role playing to build out this application. As I mentioned, I just got a fresh, clean instance. I've got all my stuff lined up, and we will be building an application from the ground up. If you've got process owners, business analysts, people who don't consider themselves developers, but you know they're using Excel, you know they're using Microsoft Access, they're using maybe even just email to get a process done. There are people out there in your organization that should be watching this. Forward them this link, get them signed up so that they can understand the power of the platform and how to solve their problems, because the more applications you get on ServiceNow, the more value your organization derives from it. So get them watching. If not, you watch it and you find out what's good for them and say, hey, you should really go watch this. I'll get the video posted in a couple of days. Usually takes some time to turn around the video, the questions, all the answers, all that stuff. Post-production is taking a little longer these days than it used to, but all good stuff. Good morning. Who else is here? Vidukesh. Good to see you on the live stream. Good to see everybody else joining. We're just finishing up the pre-roll. One last thing, any other code that I write today, if we happen to write any script live, I will be putting it on GitHub at the link there, as well as all of the previous scripts. If you watch any of the previous videos, are available on GitHub. So, short introduction, let's get into it. This is the community that we have. Community.servicenow.com is available. You can find it, log in, free. Again, if you got questions, post a question, get it in the right group. We've got different communities over here. If you say all forums, you can see all of the different sections and subsections that are available to you, so that your questions about discovery should go in IT operations management. Your questions about human resources should go in HR. Get them in the right place. You got more chance of getting your question or problem answered and resolved. Good morning, Ibrahim from DC. Hope to see you on the, what would that be, the 6th or the 7th? Whenever we're having the DC meetup, I will double check that. And maybe we'll see you there. I'm going to go back to my main page by clicking on the title up here. Anybody else notice that we rebranded the single sign-on page? That's right. It looks a little different. I'm going to log out just to show you what's changed. It no longer has the red and black theme. If you go to sign in, we've got a new little spinner. The font has changed, and it already knew who I was because I was logged in on another page. But the buttons are green. Everything's gone to the green theme. So our login page has changed. That's nice. We're slowly getting around to it. I was wondering when that's going to happen. Yesterday afternoon, at least afternoon my time, it switched over. Pretty cool. I like it. It's kind of stylish. All right, let's go through some of the new questions that have come in the last few minutes and hours. See if there's anything in here we can help out with. If you've got comments, please put them in the in the chat in YouTube. I'll try to incorporate them into the discussion because sometimes I don't see everything. Someone says, "Hey, press that link," and I've never seen that link before, even though it's been there for years. It's one of those I follow, I do, I learn, I go as far as I have to, and then I move on. But other people, that's what the community is all about: sharing and learning. My specialty, I should mention before this, if you see me skip over a number of things, it's not because I don't like you. It's not because I can't. It's frankly because I don't know that I can help with that question. My specialty is with custom applications, integrations, and the platform in general. So I may take a look. There was a question yesterday. I just subscribed to it, and somebody else answered. And I went, hey, add a little more information to my backlog of how that's done. And got the answer. So that was good. Vulnerability CI scan failed in service management. Let's take a look. I don't know what this is about. Again, context helps. Let us know what you're trying to do, the problem you're trying to solve, because if you just throw out a technical question, it may be the wrong answer for the right answer for the wrong reason. Hi, I have discovered a few CIs. It's failing when I'm trying to scan its vulnerable check. I'm getting initial attempt to queue. A scan was unsuccessful. We'll retry later as my processing notes. Can anyone please guide me if I am wrong in any configuration steps? Hard to tell without knowing what you've done, but this feels like it's more CMDB-ish than I can handle. I don't know too much about vulnerability scans. So again, not that I don't like you, I just have nothing to offer there. Non-admin users can edit some user fields. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Take a quick look at it, open up in a new tab, and I need to prevent non-admin users from editing any of the user fields. Only admins should be able to edit user records. Create an ACL on sysuser table by elevating the security admin role. Type role admin. I would contest that users should be able to enter some of the fields. For example, if I go to sysuser, there may be some that you're getting from an authoritative source like an HR database from LDAP. You don't want them changing their login, obviously. But if it comes to maybe changing their time zone format, they may want that. Okay? I wouldn't recommend making all fields off limits to users. They may want to change things like their date format. What's another one that might be a common thing? The password. Although password may be coming from an authoritative source, an SSO or LDAP or something, for example. Check the fields and ensure you have the right roles and entitlements / restrictions on each field. Simply saying, hey, users can't edit anything in their profile could be detrimental. We got a couple answers on that one. That seems to be an easy, low-hanging fruit question, but good discussion. I like the discussions where we have lots of people joining in. Let's see. Create ACL of type right on user table. Admin overrides marks as true. Okay, more about ACLs. What role to be given to managers who are end users in human resource scoped application for Kingston release? What role to be given to managers who are end users in human resource? It's in customer service management, but it's asking about human resources. Again, make sure they're in the right place so you get the right people looking at them. I am new to human resource scoped application. Currently, managers do not have any role in the system. They are just an end user with ESS access. Now we want all managers must be able to access and approve cases in the portal and also be able to delegate task cases to other assignments. That one's going to get a little deep into HR. I don't know what the exact roles are that you could assign to them, but and we've posted it in more than one place. Okay, don't do this. That's my tip. We have what role give it. Okay, Madhuri, please don't do this. We've got it in customer service management. We've got it in IT business management. We've got it in developer community. Now nobody knows which one to answer. And if you do get an answer, nobody knows which one to cross-reference to say, there's the right answer. So it gets a bit messy in this kind of situation. So please don't post more than once. It's not good etiquette on any community, not just saying that for ServiceNow. This one simply says code help. Let's take a look at that. Waiting. I have a domain separated instance with the example below, AABBCCDD. All right, I'm going to pause right there because domain separation isn't my strongest thing. I know of it. I've done a little bit of experimentation with it, but we'll see how far this goes. Not everything in the system is domain separated friendly. I have different impact values for child's DD and EE, meaning these are different domains. Okay, underneath DD we have FF has multiple child domains like this. Underneath EE it has multiple child domains. So they have different impact values. I'm creating a new request through REST API, which is a common API for these these domains. Now I get values 1, 2, 3, 4 from the JSON object below. Domain F, impact 1, urgency 2. I have impact values for domain D, 101, 102, 103, 104. Impact values for domain E, 200s. Now I need to check if the domain F, which is sent to the JSON, belongs to the parent DD. Does it tell you which one? And I need to convert the values I got from the JSON object, which is data.impact, to set accordingly. Like here, I need to convert 1 to 101 as child. That's interesting because you really don't have any type of map to say, go from 1 to... I'm not sure that there's enough information in here to do that. Might need additional queries to get that information of what are the impact values for that. That's an intriguing one. I'm going to subscribe to that and follow that, but I don't know that I have an answer at the moment. Cannot delete an automated indicator in performance analytics and reporting. Interesting. Why can't we delete an automated indicator? I'm unable to delete an automated indicator that I created a few years ago. Not something I have ever tried, but we need to clear out. We need a clear out and thought this would be straightforward. The indicator is no longer used in or attached to any formula, widget, indicator group, or job schedule. I've so far deleted all the scores for the indicator, removed all the breakdowns, and even let me remove the indicator source and save. So essentially, it's an empty shell of an indicator. Yet there's no option to delete the indicator record, and delete is grayed out on the list view. Can anyone please tell me what I'm doing wrong? Tried using both normal account, PA admin roles, and my admin account. All right, I'm going to go here, and there's usually a reason for it. If I go to automated indicators, I should have a few of them that come out of the box. And let's do, I don't know, pick one. Number of new incidents. I am in the safety. I need to be in global. So first of all, let's get in the right scope. And of course, there is no breakdown. No delete. And I cannot see any type of delete here. So the question becomes, let's go to configure UI actions. There's always a reason. We are on the table PA_indicators, so let's first check where name equals delete. There are multiple name is delete. We have one on PA indicators. And it says sysverb delete. That makes sense. Check down here. What's the condition? Condition, current is valid record and current can delete. So it's only going to show us the UI action. What is valid record? I haven't looked at that in a long, long time. Over to developer.servicenow.com where we can get the server API. It is a glide record thing. Is valid record. True if the current record is valid, false if past the end of the record set. Not sure exactly what that's telling me. Rec number exists. Record. Intriguing function. And can delete would indicate that it's a permission thing. So if we look here, current can delete simply checks the ACLs to see, can you delete it? That means it might be an ACL thing. So let's go to access control. I don't really have the answer. I'm just looking around to see what I can find. I will elevate my access so that I can play around with the ACLs. And PA indicators. One thing that bothers me about PA is their tables have plural suffixes on them. Let's look at delete. And we just have this one that says PA indicators delete access. Requires role power user, data collector, or PA admin. And I don't see admin overrides. Okay, so theoretically, I need one of these three roles. And that does not necessarily mean that admin has those. And they said they tried it with PA admin, TA admin. Okay, interesting. Let me try and apply that role to my, let me favorite that real quick. Create a favorite. Sure, an orange exclamation point looks nice. I'm just going to put that on my favorites for now so I can come back to that record. And give me PA admin role. So over to user admin, users, bring up my record, and down to the roles, edit, PA admin. That'll do. Now, of course, I need to sign out and sign in for that to take effect. Look at all the other good stuff it gave me. Log out and log back in. We're exploring, we're learning, we're playing. Let's go back to the PA indicator. Dot list. Pick one of these. And still no delete. Interesting. Interesting. Go back to configure UI actions. See what's going to happen. Good morning, Snehal. We're trying to find out why there's no delete button on here. Let's get, again, name. Put an and on here. You know what? I don't need this condition. And once you take out an or, the magnifying glass will show back up. Equals delete. There's just that one. Deletes current record after confirmation, which I would expect. Very interesting. Is valid record. One of these two is returning a false. So the question becomes, I'm going to do a little investigation here on both of those. Let's take one of the existing indicators. Table indicator. There we go. And copy the SysID. Bring up my text editor, my code editor, and I will write a small script. Don't know if this one's actually going to be published or not. Var indicator equals new glide record PA indicators. I just want to know what the value of those two outputs is going to be. ind.get, paste in the SysID, and then say gs.info valid equals ind.isValid record. Is that what it was? It was isValid, right? Configure. Actually, I might be able to get it from here. IsValid record. Yep. Okay. That should tell us a true or a false. gs.info can delete plus ind.can delete. One of these two is coming back false. That's why it's not showing us the UI action. Paste that into script's background, run it, and can delete is false. Which means, hey, I forgot my equal sign, but that's okay. Sorry, just being a little. So can delete is coming back as false, which means the ACL is evaluating to something I can't do. Is that because why? If I go back to my ACL, this is the only one that I see has delete on that table. Performance Analytics, PA Indicators, ACL. Power User, Data Collector, PA Admin. Oh, there's also a script in here. It's a combination of all three of these. So it's roles, conditions, there's no conditions, and this script. So is premium needs to be true, which it is not. I don't have premium installed. And new is writable. I'll bet if I write this out, let's bring this out to this and put it in function ACL script. And I am just going to do this as a cheat because it's referencing current in here. That is a big funny looking script. And then call this. So it's not part of that, it's part of the ACL itself. ACL script and pass in IND. It will reference that as current in the function and give me the returned result. Copy, paste. I think I got that in one take. Let's find out. False. That is true. That is false. So my guess is it's this first part that's killing it. Let's do this. Just say is premium. So let's find out first, do they have premium? Okay. I don't, which is going to kill it. And go with this. All right. Good investigation in here. Check the ACL, see if they have been changed as PA admin. Admin should have rights to delete the indicators. You can delete your own automated indicator from the list views examples below. Okay, we're getting some answers in here. I checked the delete ACL on PA indicators and found that there's a script like the one below. Paste that in, use that little Cody thing. Make that small enough so I can hit the OK button. Bring that back up. First part is easy. Do you have PA Premium? I'm guessing yes, since they said they created their own indicators. Second part is, what is the second part? PA domain utils is writable, and PA utils used in formula indicators. It's got to check that it's not currently being used, and current dot benchmarking not equal true, and current dot type equals for or has role PA power user GA has role. Okay. Check the conditions. Oops, it doesn't actually say return. I put that in. Boom, 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 boom. I know, terribly exciting, isn't it? But we're getting somewhere. It's the script in the ACL that's causing it to say you can't delete this. In the script against your roles and data, e.g. What was that one? Current benchmarking. To ensure this expression evaluates to true. There's quite a few ors and ands in there, so I don't know what their data is going to say about that. But that's why it's not showing up. Because can delete in the UI action is saying, are you able to delete it? And although the roles are saying yes, the script is saying no. There we are. Let's refresh this list since people are picking on it all the time. There's going to be something new in here all the time. Good stuff to have. Remember, if you find something useful in this video, you've learned something, you discover something, or you just want to tell other people it's a good video, click the like button on YouTube so that they can see that. Appreciate it very much. Go back to the unreplied. ServiceNow integration with Sailpoint. I'll take a quick look. Let's see what they've got. I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it yet till I read the whole thing. I'm new to Sailpoint integration. I am required to perform a bidirectional integration between Sailpoint and ServiceNow. Do I need a plugin or can I use the app on store? Is there documentation that I can follow? I was looking on ServiceNow Share under integrations but couldn't find Sailpoint integration. Any information regarding this content would be helpful. Is there something on the store? I don't know. I don't know. So store.servicenow.com. Good place to go for this. Put Sailpoint in the search bar at the top, and I've got a couple of them. One from, they're both by Sailpoint Technology. What's the difference? This integration enables organization IT operations to identify management. Sailpoint Service Catalog integrations, integration meets service. Okay, so there's a couple. Let's take a look at this. And pricing, contact seller. I do have one document is attached, not sure if it helps though. The version prior to Jakarta, not sure it would be helpful once you have configured REST SOAP for that bidirectional. This comes down to buy versus build. If you buy it, stop flashing at me, bold icon. I would reach out to the vendor. Fingers aren't working this morning. And see what they say about the bidirectional integration. With a quick glance, I didn't see anything about bidirectional. So make sure that it fits your first requirement. If they don't have it, or it is out of your price range, then you should consider building it. Non-rolled users. Mandatory variables by scripting. Interesting. Let's take a look at this. Hello, I want to know in my catalog item which variables are mandatory. How can I do it by scripting on scripted REST API? Huh. My first question is, can you explain what you're trying to do? Can you provide some context behind this requirement? What is the business? I should just have a keyboard macro for this one. What is the business requirement driving this technical decision? Why does a third-party application need to know what variables are mandatory? What role to be given to managers? We already talked about that one. It's been posted 3 times and still has no answer. Oh, is this 4? 4 times. What role to be given to managers? 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 Okay, 5 times. Replace virtual agent icon. I would like to know if there is a way to replace the icon of virtual agent. I would like to have something else than two overlapping chats. Can you please assist and indicate where I place the change in the code? Let's see what they have. I want to see if this is the one that I'm thinking of. Ah, that's the icon they want. I was thinking it was the chat icon, which is, see if I can find this real quick. I'm going to my TechNow instance, where I keep track of all of the show information, but I also recently enabled Virtual Agent, which can be found under Collaboration. I think it's under General Settings. There, nope, not the icon there. Branding Setup. I was thinking that one. That's what you see when you're interacting with the chat. But from the service portal, I think it's just a widget. Service portal configuration. I am in global, am I not? I am in ITSM Spoke. Let's go to global so that I can actually do something with the service portal. Go to the designer, and in the service portal designer, I'll prove that it's not there right now. So if I go to service portal home, oh, it is there. We must have enabled it. So they're looking to change the icon on that. My guess is it's going to be in the widget configuration somewhere. So in the widget editor, first let me go to the page designer. Index is the top level page on that portal. There's my widget indicator, and I cannot bring it up. So that's where this icon is coming from, is that one that I showed you a minute ago. Let's put that away. I'm surprised it actually works when I'm in the editor. Put that away, and Virtual Agent Service Portal widget. Nope. Put that there. So Virtual Agent Service Portal widget. Let's go look in the, get the right page here. Widgets, Service Portal, Virtual. I guess it's probably going to be hard-coded in here somewhere. Wow, what happened to the layout? There we go. So there's my HTML template. Where is the icon? Span area hidden NG class, help icon, close icon, cross, help icon, open icon, collaboration. It's right there. So it's on, can't see what line it is. I think it'll tell me the line numbers if I go into this. Yes, yes, no. It went into the application. That's not where I wanted to go. To edit the record, click here. It's in the body HTML template on, we don't have a line number. More exploration. Unfortunately, this is not an option on the widget, but it's hard-coded into the HTML. You'll find a line that looks like this. Put that in my, not the source, my little Cody editor. That looks good. Paste that there. To change it, make a duplicate of the widget. I can't remember what it was called. Virtual Agent Service Portal widget. Very plain and very well named. Virtual Agent Service Portal widget. make your change to the icon and replace the widget instance on your portal page with your new one. Done. I haven't been ringing the bell. You're going to remind me of these things. Hi, Chuck. Didn't see you at the forum. Was looking forward to a memorable photo with ServiceNow. Oh, sorry. Were you in London? Morning, Chad. The all day, let's see, now in Now Forum London, I think you're referring to London. I was also in Sydney. Wasn't at Sydney much. I missed the first day because of flight issues. But was in London. Yeah, London, I was at the keynote. So I did that, what was that, Wednesday morning with Josh Kahn. And then immediately did 3 sessions, the builder sessions for building your first no-code app in an hour. These are very similar to what we'll be doing today on Tech Now. The putting your app to work with workflows, and then the third session in the afternoon was make your application an experience to remember, and we added on a number of things to that. Thursday, I was mainly in the expo hall in the demo center section, taking care of delegated development. So Dave Slusher had that booth covered for a little while, but then I came back and finished things off. Left about 5:30 to go have dinner with my boss and a colleague. So sorry I didn't get to see you. It was a bit rushed. Crazy time, but a wonderful time. Glad I got to meet a whole bunch of people. Morning, Steve. What did you miss? Oh, we're exploring. We are way out there learning about service portal widgets and ACLs on PA indicators. We'll get it. I'll have it all listed out in the show notes when I get this posted back to the community a little later this morning. Well, this morning for me. It is coming up on quarter to the hour. I see one in the inbox. Maybe somebody's responded to something that we are watching or participated in. And I will get that. Cannot delete automated indicator. I got a marked as helpful, like for the research we did. Hooray. But the correct answer was check the ACL, see if they have been changed as PA. And we have a reply underneath there that says, nice catch. Some bright spark had removed all the sys user roles from the ACL. Not me, probably. Works now. Many thanks. Okay. Keep an eye out for that scripting part too. Non-admin users can edit some fields. We were talking about the sys user table, and people were saying just go make it all admin only. And I said, that's probably not what you want. We have another response in here that says, out of the box, there are many ACLs on sysuser. You would want to look at what is currently enabled, system definition tables, and examine the access controls related list. You will see many for create, write, delete, and read. You may want to focus on the ones with write if that is your concern. You can uncheck activate if you want to remove some of those ACLs. However, be careful. Most of these are there for a reason, so you want to understand why they are there. Some may be used by APIs or interfaces. I consider that helpful. They went to great lengths to explore that and explain it. Before you modify ACLs, understand what they do. Security is key to your system. Did have one note in here that I wanted to talk about that came up this morning. Somebody had asked, can I, if a CI goes to state of retired or decommissioned, they want to create a scheduled job to delete the CI relationship. And I said, here's another one where we need to understand what the context is, and they need to understand what the ramifications are. This is a good discussion. And a number of people came back and replied. I said, yeah, you can do this. I don't think I'd use a scheduled job, though, because then you're waiting. If they're running it daily, you could be waiting up to 24 hours before the relationships are updated. Sounds more like a case for a business rule. You put an after business rule on the delete operation and say when a record is deleted, you go through the table CMDB _rel _CI. That's where the relationships are held. And that table has CMDB rel CI.list. That table has a parent and a child field. So it knows the upstream and the downstream CIs that it's connecting. it's the connector table. It's the relationship table. So if it says this database is running on this server, it's going to have the relationship runs on runs. The database is going to be the parent, the server will be the child, or the other way around. I can't remember, to be honest. Been a long time since I fooled around with this table. And you can say, look, if I set the state of the database or the server, if I set the state of the server to decommissioned, what becomes of the database? Has it been moved? Because if you simply delete that relationship, you have A runs on B, B runs on C, C runs on D, and you say B is now decommissioned. What happens to C and D? Are they just hanging out there in the open? It's a discussion you have to have, and the understanding you have to have of the records, what's happening to them, where are they going? Should it be deactivated? Should the other CIs also be decommissioned? Because if I had a database running on that server and the server's been decommissioned, that implies the database has either been moved or decommissioned itself. So lots of things to think about rather than just, hey, let's delete this record. Okay, so just going from a scheduled job to a business rule isn't the only answer. It's what does this mean? Somebody else pointed out that there's a history involved with these CIs. If you delete that relationship, you're deleting the history. So when the auditors come back and say, why did you do this? When did it happen? Who did it? It's all deleted. You've lost that audit history, which is potentially dangerous to an auditing situation. So be careful. Let's see. Yeah, Steve, you're going to have to watch it later tonight. Abraham says, do you think you can show us on how we can give ITIL role to make edit in work note field after form is submitted? The work note is a journal field. So once you put something in, it's already logged. It's going to be there and it's going to stay there. Let me show you that to you real quick, Ibrahim. It's not a matter of what roles are on there. It's a matter of how the journal fields behave. They're actually stored in a completely different table, and more than likely you don't want to edit them because that would, again, gets into an audit situation. So if I put in a work note, Chuck was here, and I post that as a work note, it goes into my activity history, and no, you cannot edit this, and you don't want to edit that. That's part of the journal. That's part of the history. That's part of the auditing that goes through that. Yes, I agree. Don't delete, not necessarily deleting the CI, but deleting the relationship between those CIs. CIs themselves should go to an inactive state, decommissioned, deprecated, whatever it is. You keep them out there, but they still have their audit. The question was relationships between those CIs. How do we handle that? What do you do for audit history on that? And where did that information go? So in general, this is a very, very general statement. So take it with a grain of salt, and there will be exceptions. In general, don't delete records in ServiceNow. Find a way to deactivate them. Many records, many tables have an active field, like this one. Incident has an active field. All tasks have an active field. CMDB CI, I don't recall if it does or not, but we're going to find out. CMDB CI, I believe, does have an active. I know it has a state field, so you can filter on state. Now that I think about it, I don't think it actually does. Configure, table. Let's find out. Underneath columns, it does not have an active field. Most of the time when I create a new application, that's safety isn't a good one. Let's go to CLS. Studio. I'm going to go to CLS via Studio and bring up my community live stream application that I just keep building on and beating on. I have an item table, which is extended from nothing, but I still create an active field. So create an active field on your tables, and you can deprecate things as necessary rather than deleting them. Then when you do, say, a reference field to this item table, you can put a reference qualifier on there, or a before query business rule that says, don't look at active where active is false. Only look at the records where active is true. So active, state, some way to say this is in service, this isn't, look at these, don't look at those. Much better than deleting records. If you delete a record, it's deleted, it's gone, and you lose your audit history. You lose your history of what that thing was. I did this way, way before ServiceNow, when I was a system administrator taking care of Unix machines back in the 80s and 90s. I had a paper-based CMDB. I had a 3-ring binder of all of the workstations that I maintained, all of the service that was done on them. And if one became deprecated, I simply did a strike through or changed the state field. It was just a big table. That's all it was. It was a table in a Word document or whatever we were, FrameMaker or whatever we were using at the time to document our stuff. Could use that as my CMDB, and I knew exactly when I upgraded this thing from 32 meg of RAM to 64 meg of RAM. Yeah, that was a lot back in 1991. Okay, when I upgraded the motherboard from this processor to that processor, when I updated the operating system from 10.3.5 to 10.4 to 10.4.1, all of that information was retained, and even if I set these things back to the leasing house after the 2 or 3 year lease was up, I still had information on those CIs. I knew exactly what was going on. That was beneficial to me because I knew what the history of those was, how long we had them, how you could, although I didn't have any analytics, I could infer the information of when did we need more storage, when did we need more RAM, and be able to budget that forward for the new workstations. After the old ones were deprecated, we got new ones in. I could say, look, based on our track record, I have history of that. If I had simply deleted those records and said, you know what, we don't have these workstations anymore, get rid of them in my document, very analogous to getting rid of them in the CMDB CI table, you would lose that information, wouldn't be able to do any analytics, wouldn't be able to do any predictive stuff, and just becomes a big old mess. So that's the benefit of keeping information around, at least to me. But I tend to be somewhat of a data hoarder. Chad says, hello, Chuck. I will put this in the community. We have a general request catalog item where the user can select any group. What I want to do is pop a confirmation, yes or no, when a user selects a group and pulls group description and says, are you sure you want to assign this to a group, yes or no? We get a lot of missed routing. So you're letting the end user pick the group? Don't know if that really goes with ITIL best practices to allow auto assignment, and when auto assignment doesn't work, you go to a manual triage where the service desk or some other group knows what the assignments should be. Allowing users to pick assignment groups doesn't feel like the right thing to me, but it's your solution. Popping up that dialogue as a confirmation can be done. It's a customization, and recognize that customizations carry an additional cost with development, testing, upgrading, validation, maintenance, all that other stuff. So don't think of this as how quickly can I get this confirmation to pop up, but what does this mean in the long run in terms of maintaining that customization? How much scripting needs to be done? Who has the ability to maintain this script? Should the author move on to a different role, different position, different job, different career path? I've seen that done too. Suddenly, the person who built this thing is now selling motorcycles in a different state. You can't really call them up and say, hey, remember that ServiceNow script you wrote? So be cognizant of the long-term effects of doing a customization as well. That's a theme you'll hear me preach often on this live stream is be careful. Be careful. It could come back to bite you. Shane says, by default, I like to put an active field on any new custom tables just in case. I'm with you, Shane. That makes it easier to use. You may never use this thing. Default it to true, default it to false, whatever your case may be, and life goes on. It's very easy to do. Gurkaren, I hope I'm saying that even close, says, hi, Chuck. In asset management, we have different models of laptops, notebooks, and desktops. How can I view this information as basic laptop or desktop? Real quick off the top of my head, I would say you want a lookup table. Okay, I would create a field, a choice field that says, is this a laptop or a desktop? Okay, or you could extend CMDB CI computer to be CMDB CI laptop and CMDB CI desktop. And then the class would tell you which table that's in and then you could get the class that way. So you could put the CIs in their respective tables because certain attributes may apply to laptops that don't apply to desktops and vice versa. That's the whole point of table extension, so that you can get those specific attributes slash fields slash properties, whatever you want to call them, on those specific CIs, yet roll them up into the computer table. So when somebody's selecting, hey, I need a new computer, they could select a laptop or a desktop, but if you wanted to classify them, you could do it by table. So one option is to use a choice field and then have a lookup table that says, the Dell XP 5200, I'm making this up, I don't even know my Dell models, but if the Dell XP 5200 is a desktop, you have a table that says, go look up this record, set the type, category, class, choice list field, whatever you want that choice list field to be called, you set that based on the value of that lookup. Probably only needs to be done once because the model doesn't change. Once it's assigned, and it could be done by reference from that other field or from that other table. And the other table maybe even better, if your model is a reference to a model table, that table could have whether or not it's a desktop or a laptop in the table. Then you could dot walk to a desktop or a model. It doesn't have to be on the CI field itself. So you could do this by class. We could do this by a lookup and save the value in a choice field on that table. Or you could do it by dot walking to the model reference table. Wow, 3 different things. Crazy. Which one do you want? Chad says, I wish I could get rid of it, but we have users that know specific groups and how to route them. So why do we need the confirmation then? Is it just an are you sure kind of thing? Because that, I mean, is it to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time? I'm just trying to feel out what the depth of this requirement is what is insufficient about just saying, hey, pick an assignment group. Okay, obviously I would have some sort of reference qualifier on there so they couldn't pick groups that are invalid to that process. Chad says yes. Hi, sir. Could you please explain about gsftSubmit and its purpose? That is a gform method that is available to you from client scripts. It is effectively a way of saying submit this form. So same as current.update. That's on the server side. This is a way for your client script to say, go ahead and do a submit. It's often used in UI actions that have a client script component to them that then submits and creates the server side. So there's this way of doing combined UI actions. Let's see if I can find one for you real quick. UI actions. We're getting down to the top of the hour, so I'm sort of playing wild card here. I usually don't answer this many questions via the chat. Do a quick lookup where script, contains, I thought I missed that, gsft. Close is one of them on a change request. And in here, first thing I notice is client is checked right there. Here, I'll point that out. Right there, client is checked. And on click says move to closed. That's the client script it's going to invoke. Move to closed is this script right here. So it does something. In there is gsftSubmit. Once it does that, it submits the form, and then it comes down and says, if type window equals undefined, it's going to run the server-side code. So first it does the client-side code, which is often handy for pop-ups of confirmation, maybe some other little client scripty thing that happens. Then it runs the submit with gsftp. I don't know what all the arguments are, so let me refer to my friendly neighborhood developer.servicenow.com documents, gsft submit. Hopefully it'll show up in the API somewhere. It does not. What a terrible reference. Did I spell it wrong? Nope. Okay then, let's highlight that just to make sure I didn't spell it wrong. Put it in there. Be nice to know what the arguments are. I've seen it used in the community a lot. I've seen it used in UI actions. Maybe we can infer what it is. Hi, friends. Can anyone tell me what we need? The first parameter is null. Don't know. Yeah, it always seems to be null. I haven't seen it be anything else. Gform get form element. Again, without documentation, I'm not going to be able to tell you much more about it, but it is a way to do a submit. Look at examples of existing UI actions that are using this, and you should find it. Chad says, I want to give users detail about what applications or services the group supports before they submit the request. Could that be placed on the form somewhere? Maybe in a read-only text box where you do a client script and say, all right, you picked this group, here's a description of what they support. Because that I'm assuming that information is available on that group record. On sysuser group somewhere there's, I support X, Y, and Z. Okay, we could pull that back with an on-change client script and just do that and say, you pick this group, here's what they support, rather than a whole pop-up dialogue, crazy kind of thing. So that might be one way to do it. Thanks, Steve. I need to get going also. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. If you are watching this, don't forget to mark that like button if you found something useful, found something helpful. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and I look forward to hopefully seeing some or most of you on the Tech Now episode that's coming up in about an hour. We'll see you there. Go over to bit.ly/ServiceNow-TechNow to get information on all that. You can register if you haven't already at bit.ly/TN57reg. That's TechNow 57REG. That's TN57reg. And get signed up for that. I hope to see you there, where we're going to be building a codeless application in just a few minutes. So till tomorrow, take care. I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Learn something, share something, be helpful. Bye.